Welcome to the channel. My name is Crawford and this is Virginia's for Lowriders. We're going to be a little slow pace this week. I have not been out here. I have been sick all week and I have been dragging butt. What y'all just saw is what I accomplished. I managed to weld these guys together. The plates, the tops and the bottoms. Those might get a little bit more bracing later on, but for now they're looking pretty good. You also saw me weld all of the tabs on this rear end, and everything's looking pretty decent. I just spent the last hour and a half looking for a piece of 2x5 tubing that I know, or a piece of 2x5 square rectangular tubing that I know I own. I can't find it. So we're going to have to make some stuff from scratch. The plan was to brace this from all the way from one end of these tabs to the other end of those tabs down there. Follow the contour of the rear end. I want to brace the fronts or backs, I guess, of each one of these tabs. But I can't find that piece of 2x5, so we're going to have to make some stuff from scratch. I don't know how far we'll get. Like I said, I just didn't have it in me this week to come out here. So we got a couple hours. I'm going to try and get something done. You know how it is. Try and squeeze in whatever small amount of work we can throughout the week, which wasn't much this week. Yeah, I'm going to try not to ramble because when I talk, I end up coughing, and I am tired of coughing. So let's do some arts and crafts. I got the construction paper out. We're going to make a little template for here. I need to grind the corners off of this. That way, whenever everything is wrapped around, it's a smoother transition. And we'll make up some tabs. Maybe we're going to mimic what we did on the Mazda. If you haven't seen the Mazda build, we body dropped a Mazda on the channel and body dropped a Caprice. So go check out those videos. I'm a little bit more enthusiastic. Just a tiny bit. Yeah, I'm rambling. Let's just get to work. Thanks for stopping by. Hopefully you subscribe because we're really close to doing another giveaway. I'm going to pop in another cough drop because I can feel it coming. Just in case you didn't tune in last week, we talked about these tabs. Really easy way to make sure that this gap is right after this is all being welded together. Take a piece of thin sheet metal. This is like, I don't know, 16 gauge. Put that on top of this before you weld. By the time you pull this out and everything's done, you'll have a perfect little gap because when you're welding these things, they're going to squeeze together. It's not preventable, but you can certainly help mitigate the side effects of it. So I'll show you a super quick way of making templates instead of trying to trace some stuff because you're in weird edges and things. Rubber mallet. This is a kind of fancy one I got from a yard sale. You don't have to buy a brand new one. Just saying. $2 rubber mallet. The rubber will conform to sharp things. I can figure out how to hold this and show you all at the same time. If you keep going, or if you went with a metal hammer, it'll actually cut it for you. My head is pounding, so I do not feel like listening to a metal hammer, if I can help it. Just cut along that line, and you know that it's exact. Identical to that. And this works with pretty much anything. We're going to do this on the frame rails when it comes time. So, one thing basically need to just do after this fact is I'm going to come back and cut off 1/16 of an inch. That way I can weld to the face of that rather than to the side of it for a stronger weld. pretty much it. And then we're not going to run this all the way to the top. Probably going to stop before the bolt holes. And this is going to get wrapped around the edge to the actual rear. That way it ties all of it together. So I'm going to come up with a shape. I think on the Mazda I did like a little half moon thing. Probably stick with that. Straight's kind of, or a straight cut is kind of boring, so I add a little bit of artisticness to it. I'm not sure if I want to do the dimple dies on this. I know dimple dies make long runs of sheet metal stronger. This is a pretty small run of sheet metal, and then this needs to be as strong as possible. I'm not sure if it would actually help in this case. I might leave it alone. So I might have fibbed on the dimple die thing. We'll see. We'll see how far I get. I'll make all the tabs and see if I got it in me to drill 4 holes with the hole saw, which is very time consuming. Well, I don't know. We'll see. It sounds like I've talked myself out of it already, but we'll see what we come up with. This might be a little bit drastic on the curve. I don't think I went that far on the Mazda. Good enough. I know I've talked about these before. You can get them off Amazon. You don't have to buy this brand. This one's from Tractor Supply. But when you're dealing with hand-me-down rusty sheet metal that your boy had laying in his yard for like 5 years, and you're a hoarder, so and you try and do everything cheap. Basically what I'm saying is rusty stuff, it doesn't care. And it'll mark on it still. I'd much rather clean a small tab I can hold on to with my hands rather than a big tab or rather than this big piece of sheet metal and then cleaning a bunch of things that I don't really need to be cleaning. I like to make the tabs first and then clean them with the belt sander or grinder individually, because you're just wasting materials at that point if I go through here and clean this entire sheet. This is unnecessary edges and things that don't need to get cleaned, that are just going to get cut off. So what I'm saying is these wax things, this is what I'm trying to get at. These wax things work pretty good if you're lazy like I am. Well, I was debating on doing this like I did the Mazda and putting dimple dies in this, but I don't think I want to do that. I think I talked myself out of it. I think it'll be potentially stronger this way. I'm not really sure. In my mind, it seems like it'll be stronger. But what I just did was go through and round all of these edges on all of the sides that this plate's going to be on. That way, when this gets welded on there, what I'll do is make both passes and then tap this around, and that way it'll follow that contour rather than hitting a shelf and then trying to get it to curl over that shelf. It just wouldn't work. Yeah, I think we're gonna go with no dimple die on this one. So I just need to pick a random measurement, random height for this, and match it on all of them. Kind of thinking just using the hole for the bolt, just going off of that. Yeah, that's what we're doing. We're welding stuff together today. I knew I was missing something. Man, it's getting hot here pretty quick. What did I just say last week? Always forget the anti-splatter, and then I create more work for myself. Try this again. Hose everything down. Pretty sure this is just Pam. I've used Pam before. It smells like Pam. Remember to continue to use this. If you don't continue to use this, there's a pretty good chance that you'll end up closing that gap unintentionally. That one had just the slightest bit of wiggle room. Too much. Not looking too bad. I was just going to leave the welds, but I talked myself into starting to smooth them out some. So there will be a plate that's going to be attached to the bottom of this side of this tab, coming down and following along this line. I don't have that thick of a plate in the garage. I got to dig through my shed. I'm pretty sure I have some like 3/8 plate. I'd like to do something significantly thicker than that 3/16 that I've been using for everything else. So I think it's going to do it for this weekend. I'm just about out of energy, so I'm going to wrap it up here. But doesn't look like a ton of progress. Like, I feel like I say that a lot, but it's pretty good. Welded, tabbed, welded, plated. Started making this weird looking boomerang thing because I've been talking about making it for like months now. So I'll clean this up some more, get it squared, and then duplicate that for the other side. That way this joint that takes most of the stress of this system is nice and braced up. And yeah, I think we're gonna wrap it up here today. I have tons and tons of grinding dust everywhere, so I'm gonna clean up, and I will see y'all next Sunday. Hopefully I'm over whatever I got going on, and we can actually get some work done, because I've been slacking like crazy lately. It's just hard to get out here, you know? It's like, it's 100 degrees, and you want to work, but it's too hot. And then, by the time it's nice outside, it's too nice to be in the garage. It's a weird thing. So, maybe it'll rain next week. Maybe it'll be good weather and rain. Something like that. And I'll actually have some energy. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just gonna stop here. We're like 20 subs away from the next giveaway. So if you want to win some stuff, and I've been slacking on shipping the other things because I've been sick. I'd fully planned on doing it this week, but I didn't feel like it was right to be handling things I'm shipping to people while I'm hacking up a lung every day. So, if all goes well, I promise it'll get shipped out, and we'll be doing another giveaway next week if we get like 20 subs. So if you've never been here before and you're somehow interested in this video, watching me fumble my way through it being sick, then follow along. Maybe you'll win some stuff next week. Yeah, that's all I got. I'll see y'all next week. I'm gonna go lay down now.